Hello, guys and gals, and we're back with another book review. We're actually back with another Far Side book review, actually. So, anyways, this was the fourth book I think they released, the fourth collection of comics. Um, Now Gary Larson is iconic. Um, this book was from. Let me just check. I know these came from like the 80s or something. Some of these books were as far back as the 80s because I remember, I think it was either my science teacher or my math teacher would have one of those up on the wall. Um, Something like that. This did say that this was the fourth collection of the Far Side. It says on the back. As for the date, 1980. No, 1980, 1981, 1982, 1983, 1984. So I knew this was an older book. I just remember that one of my teachers would have like Fireside Comics, posted up on the wall of the classroom. Um, so I think that makes it a little bit more iconic or nostalgic, really. Um, I'm not sure if it was any of the comics that were in this particular book, but I feel that all of them are still very, very relevant today, even though it's been, well, let's see, 1980. Well, if we go back to the first printing, 1980, 40 years ago, maybe. Well, actually, we can basically use me, because I was born in 77. So, and now it's 2025. I'm 47. So, 44 years ago. Yeah, I think that everything is still really relevant here. And that's kind of amazing for content to age that well. But it's Gary Larson, so of course. Um, Mainly, this book review is about nostalgia for the series, I guess, or for the books. Um, because basically, I think everybody knows Gary Larson. Everybody knows Far Side. I'm pretty sure, even today, I would say you could walk up to somebody. Have you ever heard of the Far Side? And they're like, yeah, probably. Um, might not be quite as prevalent as it was, back in the 80s, but still, you'd be hard pressed to find someone who hadn't heard of Far Side. And it's kind of just a testament to how iconic Gary Larson is with his cartoons. Um, I'm not sure if they ever actually animated any of Gary Larson's comic strips. They probably could have. I don't think a lot of them had like any running theme. I don't think there was like any running theme throughout the books. Though they did have recurring characters that had names and stuff like that. But as for reading one Gary Larson book, um, you'd be greeted by a bunch of different storylines or different comics, which is cool. I like that. Um, Very cool. But anyways, it's just amazing to me, anyways, how iconic. 'Cause I think the Far Side even made it into like syndication, into like or publication in newspapers, stuff like that. I'm not sure on that exactly, but it was definitely iconic enough to do so. Um, it's just amazing to see something like the Far Side progress as far as it has. I do actually have one of the galleries. I don't know where it is, but I do have one of the galleries. Um, I think I only have like one of the galleries, and it's this huge book full of the Far Side comics. I need to see if I can find that. I don't know if I do a review of it, but I just remember it had dinosaurs. I mean, dinosaur bones on the front of it, and it was like a collection of like several of these tinier books, and it was amazing. I don't even remember where I got it. Probably from a yard sale or a used bookstore, probably. Because I very seldom buy any of my books brand new. But anyways, yeah, this one is amazing. Um, this one is probably a little bit more iconic for me because basically it has zebras, antelope, stuff he didn't usually draw these creatures. He usually drew cows, and that's cool because cows are amazing. But this one usually kind of delved into Africa, with African animals, with lions and zebras and stuff like that. So, yeah. So I felt myself really liking this one because it kind of dealt with some animals that he usually didn't draw. Um, and I also really like, and it's not an insult, I promise. I always have to apologize before I say this because I'm like, oh, well, it isn't an insult. Um, I like the simple style. I mean, you could basically, if you wanted to, and I don't suggest you do this, if you wanted to, you could basically take every single frame and redraw it like with insane detail. But I don't. I think that would probably ruin some of the charm. I think it's charming the way that Gary draws all the different characters. He has a distinct art style, and so yeah. He has like the Far Side style, is what I would call it, because it's really, really simple. But I don't mean that in a bad way. If anything, I resonate with the comic panels even more because of the simple art style. There's also the monochrome aspect of it, which is basically, for the most part, I would say 99.9% of Gary Larson's comics are black and white. And that's cool. I mean, that's iconic too. Now, in the book that we reviewed, Natural Selections, there were 4 or 5 pages there that were full color, and I did love those. Those are amazing. And so yeah, there are rare instances where where they're in color, which is amazing. Anyways, yeah, this is another like a really short book. I think most of them were really short, and I don't even know exactly how many pages it was. Let's. Oh yeah, it does have page numbers. Okay, never mind. I didn't think for a second there were page numbers. This one was 104 pages in length. So yeah, um, but yeah, um, truly an iconic book, which is why I'm doing a review of it. One that has nostalgia for me because of some of the comic strips inside of it. I think even the very last one had dragons, which is amazing because Gary Larson very seldom drew dragons that I know of. And so yeah, but yeah, iconic is one way that I would describe this book. So if you can, and you can find a copy of it, because it is kind of an older version. I think this is from 1984. I think they probably re-released it by now. Every few years they re-release these things. You should check it out, or any of Gary Larson's stuff, because it's all really, really, it's pure gold, pure gold. But anyways, yeah. Again, it's really hard to get into the plot of these because with these there is no plot. That's just the thing. There is no plot with these. And that's part of the fun. Basically, that means you can read the books in any order. You won't be missing anything. I mean, if you're reading like book 15 down here, and you're not going to be like, oh, they talked about something in book 3, and now they're referencing it again. You don't really have to worry about that because there really isn't any real plot to these things, and that's also part of the fun. But yeah, this is a book that I would highly recommend check out. But then again, that's just my opinion. You can either take my opinion or leave it. Either way is fine. And if you like this content on this channel, then make sure you like and subscribe, ring the bell so you know I upload. Also, if you want to support me in any way, or if you want to join the Discord server, all that information will be in the description below. And as always, thanks for watching, everyone. You are loved, and have a great day.